Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got this beautiful, vibrant, delicious okra soup recipe for you. This is one of my all-time favorite Nigerian soups, and if you'd like to know how I made this, then please keep watching. So the first thing I will be doing is to boil my meats, and in here I've got some tripe and cow foot, that's shaki and esero. I've also got some goat meat, and I've got some beef as well. And I'm also going to add some blended onions. I've got a mixture of purple and white onions. And I'm also going to season with some bouillon cubes and some salt. I'm not going to add water at this time because I need the meat to sweat out the raw moisture, and I also need them to absorb the seasoning well enough. So I'm just going to give it a quick stir, and then I will cover and simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes on low to medium heat. And after 10 to 15 minutes, I'm just going to add enough water to cook the meats. And then I'm going to cover it, and I will leave to boil until the meats are soft. And I should mention at this point that whenever I'm boiling meats for palm oil-based soups, I try not to use too many spices and seasonings. I keep it minimal. I use just salt and bouillon cubes. And that's because I don't want the spices or seasonings to interfere with the palm oil because they don't go together at all. So I should advise that whenever you're cooking palm oil-based soups, I mean typical Nigerian soups, try not to use too many seasonings. And now I'm just going to boil my pomo separately. Pomo is cow skin for those wondering. I'm going to add some salt, bouillon cubes, and chopped onions, and also add some water to cover and then leave to cook until they soften. Normally, I cook my pomo in the same pot as the rest of the meats, but I can't do that on this occasion, and that's because I don't trust this batch. It was a bit funky. I mean, it took me a while to get it clean, and I don't want that to contaminate the broth since I'm going to be using the broth to cook the okra soup. And while that is happening, I'm just going to prepare my okra, and I'm just going to hand chop them. And you can chop them to whichever size you so desire. Normally, I would use my food processor, but for some reason, I just feel like using my hands. So this is me just doing just that. And then I will set this aside. Now, for those who prefer their okra very slimy, that's with proper viscosity, this is something you can do. You can chop a few of the okras and place them in your blender or food processor, and you can blend to your desire. Now, for those who prefer their okra soup super slimy, what you can do is you can add some water to the okra and blend. But I don't want that at all. I want my okra, kind of crunchy. So I'm just going to blend just a couple of pieces. But the amount that you blend will depend on just how slimy you want it. But like I said, I don't really fancy the viscosity. So I'm just going to do this just to show you how it's done. And now it's time to prepare the peppers. And in here, I've got one big red bell pepper. That's Tatashi. I've got 5 shombo, that's red chilies. And I've also got 2 scotch bonnet peppers, that's atarudo. I'm also going to deseed the red bell pepper because I never use the seeds because I've had problems with them before once where they tasted really, really bitter. So I never use the seeds. And once I'm done with that, I'm just going to place them in my mini food processor and I'm going to chop them roughly. Now you can choose to blend the peppers fully, but I don't want that. You know those small red specks that will be contrasting with the green in the okra and make it look very, very visually appealing? Then a kind of a fizzy looking okra soup. Yes, that's what I want. So no, I will not blend it fully. I'm just going to prepare my fish, my fishes, my fish, my fishes. Yeah, my fishes. That's right, my fish. And for this, I'm going to be using some smoked catfish and also some bonga fillet, which is shawa. And I don't need to do anything with the smoked fish. It's fine. And with the shawa, I need to debone because it's got loads of bones in it. And I should advise if you're cooking for kids, please do not use shawa. They are choking us out. They're very dangerous. I've had a terrible experience with them, so I'm always very wary. And I'm also going to be using some king prawns. And with that, I'm just going to remove the head and the veins and also the shell. And I will do this with all of the prawns. And now it's time to check on the meats. Now that the goat meat, the beef, and the shaki are well cooked, I'm just going to take them out of the broth and set them aside. I'm going to leave just the cow foot in there because that takes a while to cook. And I'm also going to transfer the pomo into the broth. And that's because I've tasted the pomo broth and it wasn't too bad at all. So I'm just going to add them in so I can have them all in one place. And then I'm going to add the smoked fish in the shower as well. And that's because I want them to soften. And now I'm just going to combine thoroughly and then I will cover and leave to cook until they all soften. And now I'm just going to add some palm oil into a pan placed on medium heat. And I'm just going to wait on the oil to heat up. And once it heats up, I'm going to add some locust beans, that's eru. I'm going to fry this for about 2 minutes and then I will add some crayfish powder. The crayfish powder I'm only going to fry for about 30 seconds. Please do not fry for more than 30 seconds, otherwise it will burn and it will ruin the taste of your soup. And now I'm just going to add in the blended pepper mix and I'm just going to combine this thoroughly and then add some bouillon cubes. I won't be adding salt at this time. And that's because I will be adding the meat broth later and that already contains salt and bouillon cubes. So I'm just trying to avoid it being salty. So now I'm just going to leave this to fry for about 15 minutes. And after the 15-minute mark, I'm just going to add some of the meat stock into the pan and also add the cooked meats, combine thoroughly. And then I will cover and leave to cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. So now I'm just going to add the smoked fish into the stew and combine thoroughly, and then I will begin to add the okra. I'm going to gradually add the okra just to control the consistency. And I will also add some of the pureed okra. I'm not using too much. I think I added just about 2 tablespoons. And I'm just going to combine thoroughly. And yeah, I will not be using any vegetable leaves for this okra soup. And that's because typically I use ubu leaves in the spots. And I do not like to use spinach for my okra soup as it sort of waters it down. I don't like it. So I'm going to be skipping the vegetable leaves. But if you've got any, then you can add at this time. And at this time, I'm going to add in my king prawns and I'm going to combine this thoroughly. And then I will leave to cook for about 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. You shouldn't be cooking your prawns for more than that. Otherwise, you will be rubbery and you won't be able to, or it will just be too chewy and it won't taste nice. And also, you shouldn't be cooking your okra as well for more than 3 to 5 minutes tops. 3 to 5 minutes, that's it. Otherwise, it won't have any more health benefits. And now I'm just going to finish off with some crayfish powder. I will combine and then leave to simmer for just a minute. And that's me done for today. So this is me done for today. See how beautiful my okra soup looks. So beautiful, so vibrant, so colorful, and absolutely delicious. So, have you enjoyed this video? Then please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel and I will see you in my next video. Bye!